Okay. Also, what else we discussed yesterday? We also discussed about regex patterns. So is everyone checked with the regex pattern how it is working? I given few conditions for you people to implement, right? Is everyone done with these conditions? Why? Hmm? Didn't understood. Why? Is it that hard? Hmm? Where is that? I shared something in your group. Did you check? Hmm? What is that? So it's a regex pattern. Okay. So that regex pattern is the one which I mentioned you people for this one. Okay, if you try to break down this, definitely you can break any of these things. So I'll give a brief about whatever we have here. Okay. So if you see, okay, let me make it more bigger. So the first condition, it is the starting of the string. So why it is a string? Email is a string, okay? So the people, I guess, already have a basic idea what is string and what is integer. So if not also no issues, we'll going to know in the upcoming classes. So this first symbol indicates the string. Okay. So next, what is there? From question mark to okay. Okay. From here to here. So here it matches the exact three minimum alphabets. It mentions that, excuse me. So as we given the condition, what is the condition we given? So email should have a minimum of 3 characters, right? So that is the condition that is getting applied here. And it should not be any symbols. It should be only alphabets, right? Starting. So for every email, if you see, it will not allow any symbols at the starting. It should be letters. And after you can give any symbols that is required. And that too, apart from underscore, no other symbols is allowed in the email or Gmail, anything it may be, right? So that's what I mentioned. What I mentioned, it should start and it should be minimum of 3 characters and it should be alphabets, whether uppercase or lowercase. It is your choice. You can give anything. So that's what the second condition it will tell. So let me break down this condition. So starting of the string and then minimum of 3 characters, which are alphabets. Okay. So then after that, I mentioned that it should match at the rate. How many characters I didn't given any max length. You can give minimum is 3, maximum you can give anything. Names can be different sizes, right? Some people have surnames and many names can start from 3 to 20 also. If you want mandatory rule, you can keep that also 3 to 20. Okay. But what I'm telling immediately after this, I need a definitely I need one at the rate. So here question mark colon making this mandatory here. Okay. So that is what one condition. So next condition, what it is given. So if you see, where is it? The rate ones. Some pattern is missed here. It is not showing. Yeah. Okay. So here, next thing is I was just mentioning that here I was mentioning I don't want to allow any character, any symbols in my complete string. I want to accept only 2 letters, that is alphabets or at the rate symbol and underscore. You know, emails will have underscore. So that's what it's mentioning. See, I want to access only these two symbols. Here, it was not conditions we are applying here, just to mention that it should apply only alphabets and no other symbol apart from @ underscore should be allowed. So that's what my this breakdown will tell. So if you go with the next breakdown, where it is. Okay, where it is. Okay. Yeah. So this 2 to 14 is mentioning that what it was mentioning. Okay, totally. Yeah. So as I mentioned that of @ should be maintained after these many characters. So after @ I need a minimum of 2 characters and maximum of 4 characters. After @ company's names will be someone will be big and some will be less, but no company name I guess will be more than 15 characters or 14 characters. That's what I did. After @ I was making the min length and the max length. Min length is 2 and max length is 14. So that's what my 2 to 2 comma 14 this condition is mentioning. So next one will be this one. Exactly this one to say. Okay. So it was clearly mentioning that after @ it should accept alphabet characters and it should accept or @ this it should condition. It applies both for whole string and also for the after @ got it. So that's what this mention, this condition completely breaking us here. Okay, so next one will be which one here. So what this condition is telling here is, so after the dot, so not condition, after dot, no, sorry, after @ whatever this line goes on, no consecutive two continuous dot symbols. That means .com, @gmail.com, hotmail.com. But do you get any two dots in your mail? No. That's why I mentioned, but you will get a dots before the @ like Manoj.Kumar, Manojkumar.Valapula, like that you will get. But you will never get @honeywell.com or infosys.com. That like that you will get. But you will not get any dot between these two consecutive two dots. So that's what this condition is mentioning. I was mentioning that no two dots should come after the @. Only one dot it should allow. That's what this condition is mentioning. Okay. Next. This one. So after this condition mentions, as I mentioned, after the dot, it should be minimum 2 or 3 characters like .com, .in, .ae, .hn, like this anyway it may be. So it should have a minimum of 2 characters after the dot and maximum of how many characters? 3 characters. That's what my this condition is mentioning. So what is the dollar will mention? It will mention that end of the string. Starting will be the, what is this symbol? Asterisk, it's not asterisk. Camel, cap, okay, whatever it may be, cap symbol. And now if you see, each and every line is breaking up here like this for us. Okay, so here it is mentioning string condition again. Okay, so where it is, okay, so same thing we given here, right? Question mark @ okay, sorry. So now you got it. So try to break this out line by line. Check it. You have many sources to check. Try to check, break it out, and try to get it how it was working. Got it? I was just giving you a brief of how it will work. Clear? So that's what the condition. Okay, at least now try to complete it. Okay, I want it to be evening. I want everyone task to be there in that in your particular drives or repos. Okay, clear? So online people, is it clear? Online people, is it clear? I'm asking you people, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So what is our today's topic? Layouts. Let me check the curriculum once. Your curriculum, what is the topics are pending for us? Oh, we discussed about attributes, elements, display levels. Yeah. Elements, specific attributes. Cool, then forms we got completed. Okay. Then different HTML versions, client side data store, interactive documents, and then okay, cool. So in the previous sessions, in the previous session, I was given a clear picture of some of the layout types. Remember? So what are the different types of layout systems that we have? Table, float, flex, and grid. These are the some of the layout systems that we have discussed so far. Okay. So now I also now starts with the basic CSS selectors, which will attributes also we call them as, which will help us with the upcoming classes. Okay. So these are selectors. Okay. So what is meant by selectors basically? What is the purpose of selectors? Anybody have any idea? So what is the purpose of Amazon or Flipkart? Shopping, right? Item, whatever it may be, have a huge collection. You can shop anything there, right? So what is the purpose of buses? Transportation. So like that, each and every item will have their own purpose. Okay. We just choose them. In the same way here, what selectors will do? Selectors give us the privilege of selecting an element, HTML element. For example, it may be H1, heading tag, anchor tag, or whatever the tag it may be. My selectors will give me the way of selecting that element. Okay. For example, how many different types of buses are there? AC buses, Volvo, multi-axle, sleeper, semi-sleeper, okay, pushback, these different types of buses are there, right? Same in the cars, different brands of cars are there, right? So in the same way here, what is the basic purpose here? So whatever it may be the transport, but I can reach my destination. For example, if you want to travel from, imagine Bangalore to like Andhra, okay, or Bangalore to Mumbai. So I can choose any way of transport. I can go by car. If I choose a car, I can have different types of cars I can choose. If I go by flight, I can choose different type of flight, whether economical or business class, anything it may be. Okay, different brands like Vitara, maybe like what we have, AirAsia, like this many brands you can choose. In the same way here, for example, I have one element, how I can select that element. So what is the major purpose of selecting an element? So in the web development, the selectors help us to select an element and give additional features to that particular element. For example, if you see in the previous session, we have created table here. So here border is one of the attribute, right? So what is this attribute is doing here? So default table we have, it is giving us the table, but what is the border is doing? It's just giving additional feature that is nothing but border to our table, right? So in the same way, for example, if you see there is a other attribute called as class, okay, and we given value as border, okay. So what is this class is giving here? Border. So it is giving multiple features like border it is giving, also margin it is giving, padding it is giving. So here what happening, each selector here, like class is a selector, or we can call it as a what we attribute. Okay, by default it's a selector, but it works as an attribute. Selector should be given as an attribute only. There is no other way that you can give selectors. So always selectors will be given as an attribute like class, ID, what we have, tag selector, group selectors, synonymous selector, like that we have pseudo selectors, many selector types are there. So however, we have different modes of ways to travel or transfer anything. In the same way, I can select one element in 12 different types. Okay. So one element I can select in 12 different ways. Anyway is fine. But each scenario, okay. For example, if you want to travel from here to US, you can't go by walk or by bus. Definitely you should choose a skyway, right? So if you want to go from here to Mumbai, you can't travel in car that much easily. If you're rich, you can go by airway, or else you should go by railway only, right? So if you are going from here to BTM, you have multiple choices. You can go by vehicle or you can go by bus. You can't choose from here to BTM by airways or trainway, right? So in the same way here, I have different ways of selecting my element, but I should decide and I should see the scenario. What is the exact scenario and which selector I should use here? Got it? So, but I don't want to dive into the complete selectors now, but I'll give some basic selectors which are required for you to understand. Got it? So among them, the first one will be the ID selector. Okay. ID selector, also called as the superior selectors, we can call it as. Where is it? Okay. First one. So ID selector can also be called as a superior selector. Why? Because whichever the selector you may use, if you select that element by ID and if you give some property to it, it will take ID only, because ID behaves as a hierarchy. It behaves like I am the superior to all of the selectors here. So I'll not allow any other selector given futures. Got it? For example, if you take an Apple iPhone, okay. So even though there are many other mobiles, okay. So what Apple will always have a brand value, right? It will tell that I can give features that no one else can give, right? Like nearby selection, like if you see, when I was using a Mac, what is the main purpose? It's not about only brand, the security maybe. It will tell that they are claiming till now no other company is giving more security than me. So that's the reason it is still setting on the hierarchy level. So in the same way here, ID plays as a hierarchy role in the selector. Okay, it is the one of the major and the topmost powerful selector. So that's why, and for example, just imagine if it is very less powerful, okay, is it possible for you to handle if you, for example, you selected some other element by using other selector, you given selected by also using ID. If it is both are concatenating, that means fighting each other. So we should tell which one should sorry, which should win. For example, if I kept a fight between one completely built boy and a thin guy, there automatically will tell, okay, the built guy will win automatically because the guy is thin. He can't survive against him. In the same way, some hierarchy should be there always to maintain that powerfulness in between the elements or in the human. Right. In the same way here, that's why ID is always the more powerful selector here. So ID can be indicated by a tag called hashtag. Okay. So whenever you give a hashtag and give any name, that means you're selecting that element by using the ID. For example, let us see it live. So if you see, so far, everywhere we given border, right? Class equal to border. So let me create one ID for each everywhere. Okay. Control F, Control H. So let me give the same. Okay. Also, I'm adding an ID here. Okay. So when I was giving as an attribute, I can directly give with the name in the element. Okay. Here, if you see in the element, I have given class is equal to border. In the same way, I'll give ID is equal to border I was giving. Okay. So let me replace all. So one more ID is added for each and every div here. Okay. Now what we will do? Now we will give some properties here. So now we are using internal CSS. Okay. So as we already seen, inline CSS, how it is powerful, and internal, how it is powerful. In the same way here, I was using internal CSS. For example, I was giving like dot border, I given few properties. So let me duplicate it. Okay. And make it as ID, hash border. Okay, now it's an ID. So here I given like 1px solid green, important I given. So let's not discuss about important. Let us remove important and check what is the real power of each and every selector. So I'll make it 2px solid blue. Okay. So I given like this, and margin I given as 50px and also padding as 30px. So now tell me which one will work. These properties will work for all the elements or these properties? Hmm? Okay. So let me reload. So which one is working? But for it, why still red is coming? Let's go back. See, ID border, border class. So border is there for each and every item, right? So where is the first element? First one is text tags. ID I given as border, but still taking the class only. It was okay. It was taking because I given inline CSS, which is always powerful than any other CSS. Okay. So that's why it was taking. So if I reload, so now if you see anywhere, do I have this extra CSS? Red is coming somewhere else also. Okay, here also we give it inline CSS. Now I understood. Even inline is that much powerful that even ID selector can't override it. Got it? So apart from inline CSS, wherever I given ID, everywhere it is working or not? Got it? So for example, I'll make one scenario here. So now you understood how I can write the ID and how powerful it is, right? So let us make it as class only. Okay. But I'll make, yeah, two classes I written. So now tell me which one will work, top one or below one? Why below one? Hmm? Exactly. So we already discussed code execution will always be from top to bottom. First, this will get applied to my element. Excuse me. Okay. First, what happens? These properties will get applied to my HTML elements. But immediately in the fraction of minute seconds, that property is getting replaced with a new one with the same class I given, and so it will be replaced with the new property. Whether you use the same class or different class, it doesn't matter. But here, what is the important? The hierarchy and the way position where it is located. As it is located down, automatically the top properties, for example, I given here as border and here as border one. Okay. So I have two different classes I given to my elements. So first it will apply border properties. Then automatically it will replace that border properties with this border one properties. For example, it have a mixed properties. Like I have padding and margin there and I don't have any padding or margin here. So now what happens? So it will apply all this. It will apply margin and padding. When it comes here, it will not replace all the properties. It only need to replace border property. So it will only replace this border property and automatically remaining both margin and padding uptakes from this class. And here it will, from this class, it will take only border. So that's how my hierarchy and the replacements of properties will handle. Okay. When you given a multiple classes or IDs or any selectors to your elements, so automatically it will pick the properties which are not there in the other one. In that case, it will give both the classes. If there is the same properties I was using in the other selector also, then what happens? It will replace them. Got it? Or else if it is like selectors, as we seen, ID and class, it will check for the hierarchy, which is more hierarchy. It will apply that properties even after execution. So here, even when ID is executed first and then class, hierarchy matters here. What hierarchy tell? Even I was executed before you and you are executing after me, but I'll not allow you to change my properties because I am the hierarchy here and I am an ID and I have that power to hold you people. Got it? So that's how my ID selector and class will work. Okay. So now let's get back. So that is what ID and so class you already seen, right? Same way, however, you give the ID attribute, same way you will give class attribute, and the class will be indicated by symbol of dot. Class of dot. So next third one will be tag selector. Okay. So what is meant by this tag selector? Selecting a tag name directly by using its tag name. For example, I can call you people, as I mentioned, many names. I can call you by using your Aadhaar name. I can call you by using your mobile number. I can call you even by using your age or anything. But I choose in a medium here as name. Name is the medium I chosen here. So everybody who calls you will call you with name only because that's what your name here assigned for you. So in the same way, the tag selector is nothing but selecting a tag directly by using its tag name. So if you see here, I selected UL, unordered list, and LI list item. So directly I selected by using tag name or what, right? So if you come here, input, directly I was selecting input. Okay. But what is the disadvantage of using this type of tag selectors directly? Can anybody tell? So advantage is that I can directly select that element by using tag name. But what is the disadvantage? Pardon? More than? In the sense, I didn't get you. You? Yes. Then. What is the issue? What is the issue we'll get here? Disadvantage.
It will apply to all the tags, same tags. That will be
So for example, just imagine there are 5 Manoj in this room. Okay. So I just tell Manoj, just go and get me water. But I didn't mention which particular Manoj I was talking about. Whether I was discussing about first row Manoj or second row, third row Manoj. Okay. So it is applying to the whole Manoj who are there in this classroom, right? So same thing applies to here also. When I use a tag selector directly without selecting any particular mention, without mentioning what is some relationship, what happens here? Directly it will select each and every input which are there in my whole web page. So now input margin will apply to each and every input that I'll create in my HTML page. So that's how my input is going to be work here. Got it? So next, if you see the same thing, ULLI and OLLI given. In that case, how it is working differently here decimal and here if I give like some other thing, how it is working? Because I'll set relationship. Okay. I was selecting list item directly by using tag name, but also I was keeping a relation. I was mentioning select the list item which is there within the OL. Here also I'm mentioning select the list item which is there within the UL. If you see, it was there clearly showing. When I hover on UL, LI, it was showing in the UL. When I hover on this LI, it was showing OL. So relationship, parent-child relationship. Got it? So these type of selection is called as group selectors or parent-child selectors, we call them as. Okay, we'll check about that up in the upcoming classes. But just make sure and be clear that how selectors, tag selectors can be handled. You can directly select by element or tag by using the tag name. But what is the disadvantage here? Until unless you maintain a proper relationship, it is going to apply for each and every item that you are going to create with that particular tag name. Got it? Clear? So now let's quickly jump into the topic semantic tags. So what is meant by semantic tags? Tell me what is meant by semantic tags. The tags that have a proper meaning. So that is also one of the advantages that we got in which version of HTML? Which version of HTML gave us the semantic tags? ఒక్కటి ఇచ్చినారంటే మొత్తం స్క్రాప్ ఒక్కడన్నా పనికొచ్చేవాడు ఉన్నాడు. ఇంకేం చేసినారు? 4th version. Fifth
Why
version
only-
లో semantic tags ఇచ్చారా? Huh?
There
In
will
fifth version, did they given semantic tags? Which version did we got the semantic tags? అంతే అరిస్తే మళ్ళీ ఆ వర్షన్ కూడా కాదు. సిక్స్త్ వర్షన్ అంటే సిక్స్త్ వర్షన్ అని చెప్పి ఉంటారు అంతే కదా.
Seventh version.
Who is that? Who is that? Correct. Who is that? ఎవరయ్యా చెప్పింది చెప్పండి రా. కరెక్ట్ గా చెప్పినప్పుడన్నా పేరు చెప్పండి.
HTML5 they have given said it is seventh version of
Nikhil. When I asked version, it's not about how many versions he introduced. I was asked about which version. If you in that case, if you ask, it's not seventh version. Don't ever say that HTML seventh version. Okay, HTML
HTML5.
5.
HTML5.
There are many great people in this room also who said fourth version. First topic, 1.5 hours. ఆయన చెప్పాడు, మురళీ సార్ చెప్పాడు, నేను చెప్పాను, ఇంకెంతమంది చెప్పాలి జీవితం. How many drunkards are there in this room? ఉంటారు కదా, తెలుసు. నిజాలు చెప్పండి, ఒప్పుకోండిరా. డ్రింకింగ్ హ్యాబిట్ ఉంది కదా, నిజం పర్లేదులే, నేను అడగలేరా, నేను చెప్పరా, ఎవరికి చెప్పని చెప్పురా. Who have the habit here? I have habit. I was telling proudly. What is there in it? Tell me. Hey, hey, isn't it? See, what about you? Hi. Wah. నన్ను కాదు సార్, నన్ను చూడొద్దండి. Telling like that. Don't see me. Don't have habit of drinking. Drinking habit, not you don't have. Abey, I'm asking you. Kamal Hassan. Mahanatis. Cool. If I ask what is the price, you will tell exactly. If I ask out of the class, you are feeling shy. While drinking, you will not feel any shy. Mama, get me 5 bottles. Bottom sip. Get me 3 bottles. If you ask makeup kit cost, they'll tell exactly. What is the exact price? Which brand? L'Oreal. Which brand you choose? They'll tell the exact price. They're not Mahanatis. They'll also know if you ask, what is the price? Sir? No, sir, I don't use makeup. Okay, leave it. Okay, don't remember that only. Just remember, as I said, remember this also. Try to download your cheat sheet and keep it ready with you every time. That's why I told you. Okay, semantic tags. Okay, let's get back to our topic. So semantic tags, nothing but the tags which have a meaning. Okay, so the meaningful tags that got introduced in the HTML5. So now let's create a layout by using a different type of some of the semantic tags that we got introduced here. Let's see them. Okay, some of the semantic tags that we have are semantic tags. Okay, first one is header, second one is nav, third one is section, fourth one is article, fifth one is aside, sorry, sixth one is footer. Okay, so these are some of the tags that we got here. So header, why it was mentioned here, you already know. Header will always be sitting at the top of each and every web page. Whichever the web page you choose, the header will be always on the top, or is it will be on the bottom? No, the header will be always as soon as you enter into any web page, whether Flipkart, Amazon, eBay, or any website you go, HRSIT, anything, the header will always will be on the starting. Header in the sense which will have your nav links. Okay, some people will have multiple headers, some people will have a single headers. So whatever it may be, it will be called as the top one will be called as the header. You can have multiple headers also in your web page. Okay, so now what we will do, let us create a header. Okay. Where is it now? Let me create new file. Let's name it as layout.html. So I told you people to go through the HTML structure. Is it done? I don't think so. ఇంకా స్టార్ట్ కూడా చేయని వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు గ్రూలో. Okay, so first tag will be header. Okay, so let me give header here. So let me make it live server. I don't want the select as anymore. Okay, why it was coming here? Okay, so I got my header here. Cool. So if, as I clearly mentioned in the previous sessions, headers are not going to have any privileges. The semantic tags are not going to have any predefined privileges like properties, but these are just a tags that is making the developer work easy. For example, if I have a layout like header section and clearly mentioned footer, use whoever the developer comes, he can easily understand, okay, this is the header code and this is the footer code, which should come on, one is come on the top, one is come at the bottom, aside, article. These all are the just making our work more easier. Okay, so now what I'll do, let me make it stylish. Okay, so header, right? So let me give, let's check what is the default properties that they given for this header. So if you see for header tag, when I select, so do you see any properties they given apart from display block? As I mentioned, each and every element, if you see in our so far, each and every element that you create in HTML will have one display property, whether block or inline. Okay, any one property will be there. Same way here they're given as block. So now let us give us more styles to it. So let me give background as, what we can give, which color? అరే కలర్స్ కదా అడిగినా చెప్పండి రా. Blue. Okay, so my color is not visible, so let me give white. So now let me give some padding. Now you see what padding is exactly. So now if you see my element header and I have that space occupied, when I give padding automatically, what happened? The space is created inside the element. Now if I give margin to it, where it is created? Outside of my element. So if you clearly see over this element, see the orangish color one is the margin and the dark blue is the padding and the blue color is the element. Okay, for example, when I have 100 px of weight, okay, so I'll go with that concept later, but let's complete layout. Okay, so now you understood how padding and margin will go. Got it? We already discussed in the previous session. So let me make it center. Text align is one of the property. How many people know this property? How many people know this text align property? Okay, tell me what are the property values that I'll have for text align. Then tell me. Then which type of CSS it is? ఒకడే వింటున్నాడు, మీతో ఆల్ క్లాస్ చెప్పట్లేదా నేను? I was telling class for everyone, right? Just open your mouths and tell which type of CSS I was using. అరే సైలెంట్ ఉండండి రా. పొద్దున్నే వామిట్ వస్తాను. Okay, so if you see directly which type of selector I used here? బతికించు. Tag selector. Manual selector అంటామేమో. Okay, so here we selected by directly using a tag selector. Okay, so now let me make some changes. Okay, so next tag I'll go with nav tag. So nav usually where we'll use, for example, if I have a links in my header. Okay, if you see, if you go with the Flipkart also, there will be two headers. One is on the top with Flipkart logo, and only thing will logout login symbol on the corner. But below to that, you have a big link. For example, so if you see here, there is a header here. Okay, header, and also I have a nav bar. For example, let me go with mobiles. Again, if you see here, I have a header here, which is fixed, and also I have a header is always fixed here. Nav bar can be moved. Nav bar is, this is the one which have the links for quick access. Okay, so generally header is the where we'll use is, header will act as the what is a face of your web page starting, and it will always located and stick to the top. And nav bar will be irreplaceable. It can stay at the middle or anywhere, but most of the times it will stay next to the header, and it can be movable. For example, if the user comes down, you no need to worry about these things, right? If he's coming down, he's just looking for mobiles only. But if you see, header also goes in that way. He don't have the privilege of searching that particular item in this here. So that's why that is the difference between a header and nav bar. Header is the one which will holds the major things of the web page. Nav bar holds the links of that web page. If you see, apart from links, is there anything? Where is my mouse? Where is my mouse? Okay. Apart from links, do you have anything in this one? So this is the nav bar and this is the header. So that doesn't mean that header will not have any links. Header is a combination. It will have a links, it will have a major images, it will have everything. So just the major important things of the page that I need to showcase always, that can be on the header. Got it? So nav bar we created. So let me give some content. Nav bar. Okay. So let us give some styles like nav, background of gray, and let me do one thing. I'll copy this. Okay. So let's get back here to our page. So if you see, we already got, okay, text we need. A mistake I did here. Okay. Yeah, now what I created. So next is the next tag. What is the next tag we have? Where is it? Our file tags.html. Section. So what is the difference between a section and a div? Anybody have any idea? Difference between section and a div. So section and div plays the same role. For example, just imagine you have a bag. So what all you can carry in your bag? Laptops, books. Okay, just I'll start with water bottle. So what is the water bottle purpose? Okay, so apart from water, what else you can carry? Liquid items. So generally, I can carry solid also, but no useful person will carry solids in bottles. Useless people only carry solids in bottles. So bottles are mainly designed for liquid types, right? Either hot liquid or cool drink, any liquid that you drink. Okay, that you drink. You can use the bottle. For example, a box is there. What is the purpose of the box? Food, not only food, any item you can keep, solid item, which if it is fitting in it, but you will not prefer to keep the solid liquid item in it. Why? It will leak off. Boxes, most of the boxes, 99% will leak off, right? So here, but if you keep solid, it will go. No, it will not leak. Why? What is the difference? Because their liquid type have the privilege of accessing each and every small gap, but liquid solids are have a not small, they will have huge size. They can't use that minute spaces that you left for that box, right? So for example, liquid, solid, what else we have? Okay, gas cylinders. What cylinders will do? Are you able to put some food into the cylinder or put some cool drink into your cylinder? No, only gas item. Okay, we will do that. Sorry, it will also liquid, which is the gas convertible. Okay, so like that it will be. If you put in your tire, just take your car tire or bike tire. So are you able to put like anything solids and liquid and you can drive? Gas, right? So here each and every item individual item, but you can keep that bottle, that solid item also, or liquid item you keep in your bag. That solid also box also you can keep in your bag, right? So even you can carry that pump, air pump also in your bag. This all can be carried. So what your bag is doing? It's just holding them, right? So I can carry individually, separately, but when I carry them together, it is making me feel more easy to access and more easy to carry from one place to another. Okay. So in the same way, div and section are two different tags, okay, which will do that. Okay, for example, I have paragraph, I have headings, anything it may be. For example, I have particular space that I want to access for that particular, I want to consider as one piece. If you go to the browser and if you see Flipkart, so here if you see, I want to showcase the brands here. Okay, and one side filter. So if you see, they divided. This part is for filters and this is for branding, brands, right? So also I have other also promotions, upcoming, they're separated individually. So do you think only one tag is used in this particular section? No, right? So individual will have, right? So here what div or section is doing, they're just helping us to hold multiple items. For as I mentioned, how header, footer, and nav, these are helping me to hold the items easily readable. For example, I given a div or section and given name as hero banner. So within that, I can give whatever the content I require, like banner, top on the top of banner. If I want to add this text, or if I want to add any links, this all I can put that within the div. So when a developer comes to that code, and if you see that first tag div and class or any selector like header or simple comment, it is header code. So or else it is hero banner code. You will automatically understand until where that code is there. For example, what is the main purpose in the yesterday's class? We kept all in the div tag. For example, just imagine I don't have this, okay, div tags. So now is the code is easy to access. Now anybody will be able to tell me where exactly my code is starting and where exactly it is ending. Is it possible? Okay. So divide and rule policy we are using here. So if the code is there in the whole in a single page, it will be very hard for us to access. That's why we are breaking it into bits and parts. So hero banner, one part, promotional banner, one piece, and then branding, one piece. So I was separating each and every part. If I get any error into that particular part, I don't need to check the whole code, right? So I can directly access that particular part, whichever the error is getting. So that is the div1 section window. This will segregate this. So however div is working as a block level element, same way section came into the picture. Div is a HTML previous tag and section is a HTML5 tag, semantic tag we call it as simply. So what div is doing, section is also doing the same thing. There is no difference, but meaningful tag they given. So here if you see each one is a section, right? This is one section. Generally, not only as a web developer, as a normal end user, what you will tell, are in this section, I was using these brands are there. Are in this section, particular like which section, in the TV section, we'll have only TV. So we'll use the keyword, right? So that only we just implement in the HTML5 keyword section. So section, what it will do? It will just hold the different elements that you create into your web page. Got it? So what the article will do? What the article will do? So generally what an article will tell here, generally గా చెప్పండి HTML లో వద్దు. In general life, what is article? Hmm? For example, Vijay Devarkonda is dating Samantha, an article. Vijay Devarkonda is dating Rashmika Mandana. ఆర్టికల్ ఒక నేమ్ ఇచ్చేస్తాడు, సజెషన్ వచ్చేస్తుంది పాపప్ లో. ఇమ్మీడియట్ గా ఓకే వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ టాపిక్, సంథింగ్ ఇస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. ఏం చేస్తారు, ఓపెన్ చేస్తారు ఒక ఆర్టికల్. అవునా, ఒక టాపిక్ అండ్ అన్ ఆర్టికల్, పర్టికులర్ కంటెంట్ అక్కడ. అవునా, సో ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ యూట్యూబ్ డిఫరెంట్ వీడియోస్ ఉంటాయి. అదే గూగుల్ అయిపోయామంటే ఆర్టికల్స్ కొట్టాలంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక కోహ్లీ గురించి ఆర్టికల్స్ కావాలి, లేదా ఒక నాకు సంబంధం గురించి ఆర్టికల్స్ కావాలంటే ఆర్టికల్స్ రాసి ఉంటారు. ఆర్టికల్స్ ఏమి, ఇండివిజువల్ కంటెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఎనీ టాపిక్. సో వెబ్సైట్స్ లో కూడా ఆర్టికల్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా. ఎక్కడ ఉంటాయి ఆర్టికల్స్ అంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక మొబైల్ తీసుకో, iPhone 13 Pro Max. ఆర్టికల్ ఎక్కడ వస్తుంది, పర్టికులర్ దాని డీటెయిల్స్ గురించి, దాని డిస్క్రిప్షన్ ఏంటి, అది ఎక్కడ పుట్టింది, ఎక్కడ తయారు చేశాడు, దాంట్లో ఫ్యూచర్స్ ఏంటి, ఓకే, అది ఎంతమంది కిడ్నీలు అమ్మిస్తుంది అనే ప్రైజ్. ఓకే, సో లైక్ దిస్ విల్ హ్యావ్ different sections. If it have a more content of individuality, in such scenarios we'll use this article. Article is nothing but deals with the independent or self-contained content. Okay, so these content to handle we'll use the articles. For example, so let me give, where is our page? Okay. Okay, so let me create one with what thing, article here. So article. Okay, so before that let me create one section, but there is one hierarchy between div and section. What is that is, section is help you to create same way, holding the multiple elements. Just imagine I have multiple sections within a page. For example, I want to give about specifications of an iPhone. Just imagine. So I want to give individually, right? Product specification, warranty specification, and specific other what is we have future specifications. 3 different sections I created, but these 3 comes under only one category, which is nothing but specification of that element. So here I was individually have a specification, product summary specifications. I using a section because it is a whole content, but to hold these whole sections into one major part, that is where divs comes into the picture. That is where div have the hierarchy. Okay, so both div and section is working the same way, holding the elements, but section, more than a section, div will give us the privilege of holding even the section. Simply to say, how I can tell, I was holding you people, who is holding me along with you. If I have 10 trainers like me, okay, who this Archive and organization is holding all of us, my 10 trainers along with you people. So here hierarchy, the parent is the Achiever Society, subchild is me, trainers, and the grandchilds are the students of each and every batch that is going under each trainer. Got it? So in the same way, if I have multiple sections, for example here section, article, I have multiple things. So where I'll keep this and all, definitely I should keep within a div only, because div is the hierarchy that holds this. Got it? So section and article. Okay, now we given like section and article. So next what we have, one sec. Okay, article. So next let's go with aside. sidebar. Just imagine I have a sidebar. So within the article, let me give topic name like let me give H3 achievers ID. Okay, topic name. And I'll go with okay, I given some content, leave about it. So in the section I given, let me give section only directly. Okay. So now if I go with the, let me give backgrounds here first. Section background, let me give orange. So if I duplicate it and give the same properties again and again, it will be rewriting of code or not? So how I can do that? For example, content, I'm giving a class name called as dot content styles. And I can use it for, usually I'll not prefer, I use underscore for class selectors if I have space. Why? Because if you have a hyphen, you will be not able to select the element. For example, if I have a hyphen here, I can't select the whole class. So whenever you're writing any classes, you should always select copy paste because human errors we can do. That's why I'll copy always. So, but if I have a underscore here, it's a best practice. You can directly select the whole element. So that's why try to use which one? Underscore, okay. Class, I give for each and everything. Each and every element, I'll give this class. Section, article, asset. Okay. So let me give this. And I need to give which properties? These are the properties that I need to common properties, right? So color is different for each and every time, right? So now how I can give whatever the duplicate I can do. So oh, it's 9:15 already. Let's wind up quickly. So it is aside and it is section. Yeah. So give a color. Pick a color quickly. Green will be too high. Light green I'll use. Yeah. Sorry. Orange. Abe. Orange. So let's get back. So section. I have one more thing, something. Okay. This one. Article. Pick a color quickly. Aqua is too high. Pick other. Sky blue. There is no much difference between aqua and sky blue, but aqua is a full light. It's too high. Okay. So now I have created these elements, section and all. Here, let us go with one of the layout system that we need. I'll try to cover this float item. Float, okay. So let me give few properties here. Section, right? So let me give this section. Float left only I'll give. What happened? Did you see? Let's give article as float right I given. Okay. So let me do one thing. Where is it? Yeah. So, for example, if you see when I use an concept of float here, automatically my elements are getting moving forward and backward. That means it is completely disturbing my layout system, right? But so to avoid this, what we can use, we have other multiple layout systems. Okay. So now we need to discuss about pseudo selectors here to discuss about this float. So I don't want to discuss about pseudo selectors here. So I'll just revert it and I'll just make a layout for you by using other properties. Okay. So let me do one thing. Yeah. So let me get back to the code and let me do one thing. Let me keep this in one view and let me, what happened? What happened? Okay. Online guys are able to see my screen.
So,
Okay. Is my code is visible?
so
Okay. So let's keep this within a div. Class is equal to main content. I was using few properties which is not yet taught to you. Okay, we'll read them in the upcoming classes. But I was for quick closing of this concept, I was using this. Okay, display text. But I'll just let you know what this one is doing here. Okay, just give me some time. Just let me check whether I was getting what I was expected or not. Abe. So here, where is the aside section? Height of public point. Something is not working here. Aside background we give it, height we give it. Oh, why it's not working? Cool. So let me create one more next tag quickly. So next we want to go with the footer, right? Footer, format the document. So let's make footer one color. So choose a color quickly. Pick a color quickly. Okay. Don't worry. Okay, cool. So if you see now, so header, navbar, section, article, aside, sidebar, and I was using a footer here. So like this, what I was doing here, okay, let me do one thing. Something is not working actually. Styles. Let the child of, oh, sorry. Yeah, main content. This is the parent, right? Why it is broken? Okay. We'll discuss when it is come to the flex layouts. Okay. So here the main reason why we are discussing this layout is just to know how these semantic tags are working. So semantic tags are meaningful tags only. But as we already discussed, it doesn't mean that it is giving us the privilege of any concept. If you go with the code, apart from the name like a header, nav, or section, is it giving any privilege to us? Each and everything we written by own styles, right? But if someone comes to this code, they can easily understand that it is the header, navbar, footer, and section articles, because it is clearly mentioning what is the particular section is holding, right? So that's what, that is the major reason these semantic tags got introduced. Okay. So you, what is your today's task is try to create a layout system. Okay. Whichever the layout system you choose, try to create 3 different layout systems. Don't copy from online. Okay. 3 different layout systems. Okay, where is our file? Don't save. Wait. Okay. So what is the date today? It will be 8, right? So what is your today's task is? And you need to check more today. As today's is holiday, I'm gonna give more tasks for you people. Okay, and whoever didn't submit it, please kindly submit. Don't make me angry. I was not all good with anger. Okay. So first thing, create 3 different layouts using the semantic tags. Okay. Got it. So next, try to go through the concept that I was going to give now. So geolocation, and geolocation is one concept. Drag and drop is one more concept. Okay. What we can give? The curriculum that I got from Mature Society, we covered more than curriculum only already, but I didn't see anything that we missed. Okay, so try to go with geolocation, drag and drop, web storage. Okay, so the Monday session, it is going to be with these 3 concepts. Okay, these are one of the major advantages that we got in the HTML, which version? 5, HTML5. This is the major advantages that we got: geolocation, drag and drop, and web storage. Okay, try to, I want each and every pin details regarding this topic. Okay, Also, I'm gonna start with CSS from Monday. Okay, these concepts and CSS, and if you want, I'll cover quickly. I'll give a brief about the whole HTML concepts. I don't think it is required for anyone so far. If anybody is needed, I can cover that also before starting CSS. Got it? So is it clear for online people?
Yes, sir.
Anybody have any doubts here? Offline and online both. Create a note on these three topics also along with that layout system. Okay, and try to check selectors also. Okay, selectors in CSS. Okay, try to check CSS. What is meant by CSS? Some brief about CSS. Try to learn. Cool. Clear? Everybody clear online and offline? Anybody have any doubts with any particular concepts that we learned so far? Or if anybody is feeling we are going little slow or fast, any suggestions? I am open to suggestions. Okay then, have a nice day guys. Happy weekend in advance. Okay, have a nice day. Bye. Pardon?
Tomorrow holiday.
For me it is holiday. For you, I don't know. Talk with your mentors. Okay, cool. Bye.